Hello guys, Ezra here and welcome back to another movie reviews. And on today's review I want to talk about Kraven the Hunter. Now this is obviously part of the Sony Spider-Man universe, with reportedly Sony is trying to end the Sony Spider-Man universe, or at least like take a break from it, because there is like I think there's like three Spider-Man project that's about to be released in the future, so that's exciting. But yeah, this movie is been slapped on by pretty much everybody, and I think even Sony released like an 8-minute opening scene in YouTube, which I did not watch, because like, well, I watched the movie anyway, so why would I watch 8 minutes opening scene and then see that again on theaters. Yeah, it just shows that Sony has been pretty desperate, to promote the movie, and honestly, after finishing watching this movie, I think this movie will flop 100%, because it's not a good movie. It's not. When I saw the trailer, I thought that there will be at least an action-packed movie, with so many gore and crazy action sequence, which I kind of love, But after seeing the movie, it's not that, Like pretty much the action sequence are very lacking in this movie, and there is a lot of like talking, between the characters that I think might bore some people, because there's a lot of talking, but there is also a lack of action throughout the movie, which is very disappointing. And I think on one hand, I appreciate that this movie is rated R, because we get to see some gore at the very least, But at the same time, I did not feel the rating, for some reason, I thought it was like, yeah, it doesn't feel like an R-rated movie, Even though that when you see the action, it's like, oh yeah, of course, it's R-rated, because it's pretty brutal. But at the same time, it doesn't feel necessary for me, And yeah, this movie is I don't know, man. It's a movie, It just exists, And I apologize if this review will be a bit more, incoherent, because like, again, there is nothing much to say about the movie, So I would just like go with my memory, which I would say the things about what I like about the movie and the things that I think is just a completely missed opportunity, So I think the things that I like about the movie, is I think Aaron Taylor Johnson as Kraven, I think he does a good job playing the characters, And I think everybody performance overall are pretty good, And I think the action sequence itself is also pretty good, even though they were so far between, But when they were there, it was like at least it was fun to watch, At least there was that, I don't think it's not super special, for the action sequence, But at the same time, at the very least, you are having fun watching it, And yeah, I guess that's very much it, because this movie is missing a lot of the points, because Kraven is a villain, obviously, but this movie just make Kraven into a hero, and I think that's like the huge mistakes about this Sony Spider-Man universe, where they take Spider-Man villain and then make them into a complete hero, because I feel like Kraven has never actually did anything questionable, because you are pretty much rooting for him the entire time, and I think that's the huge mistake for this movie, because I think this movie would be much more interesting if Kraven was actually hunting people down, and you could even do like a horror movie style, where you're focusing more on the bad guys perspective, that was being hunted by Kraven, and then you were just like sitting there basically intense and just waiting to see what happened, what will Kraven do to the guy, but they never do that, I feel like the movie does say that, oh, this is like the hunters, like it's a mythical hunter, and then every single time Kraven say his name, then you would already be dead by that, so like they try to do that, but I feel like they just like say that, but they don't show that, I feel like in the 8-minute opening sequence, is the closest thing you see Kraven as a hunter that tries to kill people, but even then it doesn't feel special, and I feel like Kraven the Hunter was supposed to be this scary guy, I guess, that you could that basically hunted you down using the nature or like the environments, especially if you're in the jungle, basically like John Rainbow, right? And the movie tries to do that in the third act, but I feel like it doesn't really work as well because it takes a lot of time to get there, and I feel like there is just a lot of talking, like I said before, and I feel like the story are just like the story was okay, it's not exactly terrible, but at the same time, they're just okay, they don't feel special. And Craven is barely hunting people down, and I feel like Kraven, by the time you get to the end of the movie, he's trying to rescue his brother Dimitri. So it's just like, well, this movie shouldn't be called Kraven the Hunter. It should be called Kraven the Rescuer, or Kraven the Talker, because there's a lot of talking in this movie, and not enough hunting, and it's just like super disappointing, and it's a big missed opportunity by Sony, because I feel like they've been making some bad decision with this like Sony Spider-Man universe, because first of all, there is no Spider-Man, and number two, the villains just turn into a hero, like completely missing the point of anti-hero, and the story is just like lackluster, and I feel like this movie just being made by Sony so they can like keep the Spider-Man rights, because apparently that's the rule that every single 5 years they have to release like a Spider-Man movie so they can keep the rights, because if not, then the Spider-Man rights will go back to Marvel, and obviously Sony doesn't want that because Spider-Man is a big franchise, and I think that's the reason why this Sony Spider-Man universe exists in the first place, and yeah, it's not going well, and I feel like this movie will flop at the box office, I would also won't convince you guys to go watch this movie on theaters, because I feel like it just, again, it doesn't feel special, and I feel like the movie is very lackluster, in my opinion, and it's just like, yeah, by the time it was ending, I was like, okay, I guess that's the end. Sure, cool, I guess, and it's like, yeah, so yeah, what else to say? I mean, again, I don't know what else to say about the movie, guys. So I think that's gonna be it for my review. Very lackluster. Lot of talking. Not enough action, and it seems like they're just like saving the action for the third act, which is kind of weird. Because I feel like the action sequences, like, yeah, I mean, maybe Kraven fighting Rhino, like, yes, there is like some CGI involved, and there's some CGI animal as well. But at the same time, it doesn't feel like again, in the Venom movie, I understand why they decide to put all the action sequences in the third act, because that's where they were saving the budget, so at the very least, from Venom The Last Dance, even though that movie was not good, the final act was actually really fun, I really loved that. And Kraven, I was expecting the final act to be fun, and it's just like that, it just happens, and I'm watching it, kind of having fun with it, and then, yeah, that's it. Just over, and it doesn't feel as fun, as Venom The Last Dance, so I think that was quite disappointing, because I think from the trailer, you were expecting this movie to be an action-packed movie, but the action is really far between, and they were over too quickly, and this movie is 2 hours long, which in my opinion, like, I feel like some parts could be cut down, because this movie will probably bore some people, because there is like no action, or when the action is happening, it was just over that quickly, and it's almost like they maybe reshoot some of these sequences so they can have some extra action sequences, which it's not surprising to me, because I think this movie has a lot of reshoots back in the day, so yeah, I think that's it for my review, guys, for Kraven the Hunters, like, it just lackluster. That's the one word that I will be using constantly to describe this movie, or I guess the Sony Spider-Man universe as well, because I feel like there's a lot of potential there, but Sony just like completely missing the points of these villains, so yeah, I'm glad that Sony decided to stop doing the Sony Spider-Man universe, and then focusing more on the Spider-Man movies, like the Spider-Man 4 with Tom Holland, Beyond the Spider-Verse movie, right? Which I have no idea when that's coming out, but I'm hyped for that. And I think Nicolas Cage also have like a TV Spider-Man movies, which like a noir Spider-Man, I think. So then that's really cool. So yeah, let's just wait and see about those Spider-Man projects, and hopefully it will be good, But either guys, that's my review. So let me know in the comment section below, what do you guys think about Kraven the Hunter? Are you guys someone who likes the movie, or do you guys someone who didn't like the movie, And how do you guys feel about the Sony Spider-Man universe in general, Are you guys actually a fan of this universe, or are you guys actually like me, found the universe to be a lackluster and just Sony completely missing the point, So yeah, let me know your opinions in the comment section below, guys, and if you guys enjoyed this video, then make sure to guys, hunt that subscribe and like button, guys, share the video to your stuff, stay tuned for more videos in the future, guys, and again, I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I will see you guys in the next one then. Bye.